Welcome back. In this video, we start an imaginary trip to London. We want to visit this city. So let's start. Today we are in London, in England. We are going to explore the city. We are going to find lots of awesome English words to help you learn English. So let's go. This is London, the capital of England. It's a quirky city. If something is quirky, it is unusual in an interesting way. London has something to offer for everyone. Whoever you are and whatever your interest, London is your home. First of all, it's a typical day today in London because the weather is overcast. And it's how we describe the weather when it's cloudy. And there is like a blanket of a cloud, and you can't see the sunshine at all. If we look at the sky, it's completely overcast. If you look across the River Thames, you see Big Ben, but unfortunately it's covered in scaffolding, which is the structure that builders use to restore and build buildings. So, for the time being, Big Ben is covered in scaffolding. For the time being means, for now, temporarily. You can also see the London Eye. If you don't know, it's a huge wheel in the middle of London. You can go around and around and you can get awesome views of the city, the Thames, Buckingham Palace, Big Ben, and much more. Do you have an eye for something? If you have an eye for something, that means that you are very good at recognize the fine details of something. I'm very good at recognizing the quality of something. For example, I can say I have an eye for fine arts. I can recognize when art is a very good quality. So if you have an eye for art, there are plenty of places in London you can see some amazing art like the Tate Modern, National Gallery, British Museum, Victoria and Albert Museum. Now I'm eyeing up my next destination. To eye something up means to look at something closely that you are attracted to or you are interested in. I've been eyeing up Westminster Abbey. Westminster Abbey is really old, 960 AD, so way over 1,000 of years, old, and it was founded by monks. Monks are religious men. They usually live in poor condition, in poor condition, and you might have seen them in brown cloaks, especially in films and stuff like that. And they don't live in Westminster Abbey anymore. Westminster Abbey technically is not an abbey anymore. When Westminster Abbey was built, it was an island called Thorney Island, which was an island of the Thames. And it's not an island anymore, but originally it was. And it's pretty cool, a stone's throw away from St. James Park. If something is a stone throw away, it means that it's extremely close. Often, when people think of London, they think of a pollution, very crowded city, very crowded places. But London is also full of amazing parks, like St. James Park, which is right in the center of London. And we could say, to find themselves to be smack bang in the middle of the countryside. If you say something is smack bang, it means, you are in the middle. It's right in the middle, the very center. So you are in smack bang, the middle of London, and it seems like, that you are in a countryside, because St. James Park is so big and is a green park. There are so many other parks in London: Regent Park, Greenwich Park, Holland Park, Kensington Park, Hyde Park, and so many others. The parks are also abundant with nature and life. You can find many species of birds, such as ducks and swan. Birds birds are technically owned by the Queen. The Queen owns all the swans in the United Kingdom. That means that they belong to the Queen. And talking about the Queen, our next stop is Buckingham Palace. On the top of Buckingham Palace, we can see the British flag. The British flag is flying, but actually they don't say British flag, they say Union Jack. And when the Union Jack is flying, it means that the Queen is away. The Queen is not in Buckingham Palace. In front of Buckingham Palace and all around Buckingham Palace, you can see many police officers. You can see the guard of the king, the king's guard. And talking about police officer, they don't say police officer, but they say, coppers. Now we are heading to Covent Garden. If you are heading somewhere, it means that you are going to a particular place, in this case, Covent Garden, where you can see live show, and you can also eat some some typical food. You can eat some typical food from England. When in London, you can eat a special pie that is called steak and kidney pie, and it's the most typical with gravy, which is meat sauce and mashed potato, and it's very delicious. There is a particular expression about pie, and this expression is to eat humble pie. Now, if you eat humble pie, you show that you say something, you are very sorry because you are making a mistake. For example, I had to eat humble pie, and when I made a spelling mistake in my English conversation, one of my English conversation. So I had to say, worry, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, so I ate humble pie. And I have to eat humble pie right now because, I melted some English word in my mouth. Now, I'm getting on the tube to our last destination, and the tube is what the British people call the underground, the metro system. Our final destination is Tower Bridge. I'm getting on a tube because I want to reach, I want to quickly reach Tower Bridge. And the word bridge reminds another English expression, to bridge the gap. To bridge the gap means to make the jump between two things. For instance, imagine that you are an intermediate English speaker and you want to reach the advanced level. So you need to bridge the gap between intermediate and advanced. You need to take that leap across the next level, which is obviously very different. So in this video, we have shared some, of the main sightseeing of London. But to be honest, there is so much more to see. Just to mention Piccadilly Circus, for instance, or Trafalgar Square. Trafalgar Square is a beautiful landmark with Nelson's column towering high above, and it's definitely worth to visit. You can also have a walk along the River Thames, an area jam-packed with British history and culture. You can soar, which means that you go up to a high level very quickly. For instance, you reach the 72th floor of the tallest skyscraper in London, the Shard, and you can have a breathtaking landscape view of London. Finally, you can head over to the House of Parliament, and I suggest you to go to visit Hyde Park, particularly Speaker's Corner is a traditional site for public speeches and debate. Even today, on Sunday morning, it's unusual to find the crowd gathering Speaker's Corner to listen to enthusiasts expounding their views. Anyone can turn up, announce to speak on any specific subject as long as the police consider their speeches lawful. And that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.